All right, we are back live at Bludso's. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, there is some off the chain barbecue happening here. 323 Walker Street here in Atlanta. We are showing love at Bludso's. Our hashtag for today is hashtag SRN Live and hashtag We Do Radio. Our next guest is very interesting, I think, in what she does, and she's going to share a little bit about what she does. This is Bernie Lawrence-Watkins, and she is an entertainment lawyer. Bernie, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be with you this afternoon. It's a lovely day in Atlanta,
It
and I
is.
couldn't expect to be in a better location.
Well, we are so glad that you have joined us. Now, tell us a little, we hear about all types of, different types of lawyers. There are real estate lawyers and there are lawyers for business, so forth. But an entertainment lawyer, tell us a little bit about what an entertainment lawyer does.
Sure. Yes, that's a question I get quite often. People
Right.
ask, well, what is an entertainment lawyer?
Hmm.
Well, I am a transactional lawyer, meaning I work with contracts, I draft and I negotiate agreements. I work with people in the entertainment industry. So, say for example, an artist is about to be signed with a record label.
Hmm.
I will review that contract and negotiate the contract on their behalf to make sure that they are well represented and get the terms that benefit them in the deal. I will also draft agreements between an artist and a producer. Say that an artist found a song that they were interested in recording for their album. I will put together that agreement and negotiate it with the producer to make sure that the artist is acquiring all the necessary rights. There are also situations where the artist may have written a song on an album and the song does really well. They have publishing companies that are looking at that are interested in signing them. I will review the publishing deal, negotiate the terms on my client's behalf so that my client has someone who is actively collecting the publishing royalties and making sure that the songs are properly exploited.
Hmm. Are you ever in the position of damage control? In other words, are there things that maybe an artist doesn't think about when they're producing a song or when we're creating music? Is there something that the client doesn't think about, and then you're kind of in the position of
Yes,
damage
that's what we do as lawyers.
control?
We make sure that the issues that concern the client are properly addressed in the agreement so
Okay.
that in the event, for example, one of the major issues could surround payment
Right.
and not receiving royalties. So
Okay.
we make sure that statements are supposed to be received around a
Hmm.
certain time period. If they're not received, then there are necessary steps that have to be taken.
Okay.
Um, if there is a term in the deal which says that the contract is supposed to expire on a certain date and the client has fulfilled all of the necessary obligations under the contract,
Hmm.
we make sure when that time comes,
Hmm.
there are no issues surrounding my client's release.
Okay.
So just making sure that the terms that my client wants in the agreement are
Hmm.
properly represented and written in a way so that everyone understands
Hmm.
the deal.
So, what are the I guess mistakes we can say that some, because we hear a lot about old school. When I say old school, I'm talking about '60s and the '70s. A lot of those artists who um, created some great music, and you would think they're pretty well off today, but a lot of them are broke. What are some of the mistakes that you think they may have made?
That's a
Um,
good
back
question.
during that time period.
A lot of artists back in the day that may have written the songs
Hmm.
signed work for hire agreements where they did not own any of the copyrights, so they
Oh,
didn't have any publishing. And
okay.
publishing basically is the essence of the music industry. It is the gift that keeps on giving.
Hmm.
And if you sign that away, somebody else is receiving that gift and it's not you. Artists are making their money on touring. So
Right.
once they start touring, once they stop touring, then
Hmm.
the money's stop
Right.
flowing. because when you think about songs that were made maybe in the 60s and 70s, they're not selling
Hmm.
like they were back then because
Right,
we're now in a whole new millennium.
right, right.
So artists have to go on tour in order to generate some form of income for themselves.
Hmm.
And that's usually what the issue is. They don't own their
The,
publishing. The second issue is a lot of artists don't properly audit their record labels. Most contracts, most recording agreements have an audit provision
hmm.
in in them, and there's a time limit in which how far you can go back. And if you don't audit often,
Hmm.
you can't go to a record label and say, "Well, I'm auditing you from 20 years ago,"
Right.
because most likely the provision in agreement only allows them to go back 2 years.
Hmm. So
So that creates a problem
it
for them
sounds
as
like the
well.
artists today are a bit more educated on the business side of 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 the industry than they were years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The artists are they're becoming more astute and
Hmm.
want to know how to protect their interests.
Right.
And with the changes that are currently taking place with streaming and technology and affecting the music business,
Hmm.
they're becoming even more concerned because I'm sure you've heard of people like
Hmm.
Aloe Black complaining that artists are not being fairly compensated with
Hmm.
songs that are being streamed
Right.
through certain streaming services,
Hmm.
and something needs to be done about that.
Right. Right. Well, it sounds like you've done quite well, and you have offered quite a service and have helped a lot of artists, which has put you in the position of being recognized on May 28th. Tell us
Yes,
about that.
yes, yes, yes. And I am very thankful. I'm humbled and
Hmm.
honored to receive an Icon Award from Writing Sessions America Atlanta,
Hmm.
that's owned by Kevin Shine. And that's going to be on May 28th, and it's going
Okay.
to be at the Apache Cafe.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. And as of late, you've been doing a lot of speaking. You've had a lot of
Yes,
speaking
I've been on the
engagements.
speaking circuit for the last 2 months, I would say. I was in Baton Rouge
Mm-hmm.
speaking at Southern Law School, and then
Oh,
I
excellent.
spoke at North Carolina Central Law School.
Oh,
And as recent as Thursday, I spoke at Howard University Law School. And this
mm,
has all been about the subject of entertainment,
yeah.
how music is changing, and the effects on artists and producers in the music industry.
Well, that is excellent. That is excellent. And you have another event on April 16th. That's next
Yes.
week coming up. You're a busy woman.
Well, I love what I do,
Yeah.
and to me, it's not work.
Right.
So I really don't mind it as long as I'm educating the people. I feel like
Hmm.
I'm giving back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's really a blessing to be able to talk about a subject matter that you
Mhm.
love, and people receive it well, and
Right.
people are really uh, um, respect what you have to say.
Right. Because
So
knowledge
it's
is.
been good. On April
Mhm.
16th, I am meeting up with Terry Moore,
Mhm.
and it's going to be the subject matter is learn the music business.
Okay.
So again, I'll be talking about the changes taking place in the industry.
Right. Right. And that sounds really interesting. I think it's anyone that's going into the music business or thinking about it as a career really needs to understand the
Yes.
business
Yeah, so I would invite
side of
people
it.
to come out.
Yeah. The business side of it. And there's a special young man in your life that
Yes,
makes you smile.
yes, yes. Well, I actually have two sons.
Hmm.
One is 13 and one is 16, but my 16-year-old, he's been working in the music business, and he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
And this Tuesday, April 7th, he will
Hmm.
be releasing his music video as well
Wow.
as his first single. It's called Walk Away. He's
Wow.
signed to RCA,
Uh-huh.
Sony Records, and he's part of a group. The name of the group is called History in the Making. So they will be making history on April 7th.
History in the now I'm sure you're going to make sure that all his I's are dotted, his
Oh,
T's are
most
crossed.
definitely. Most definitely.
Yes,
He's
yes.
in good hands,
He's a
believe
good
that.
man. So
Mama doesn't play.
that's right. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. When you start messing with that mama bear, you know,
Exactly.
it's a risk.
Exactly.
It's a risk. So when did you notice within your son? When did you notice that gift that he had initially? Was it
Very early.
okay?
I would say around the age of 2, I noticed
Mm,
he took a strong liking to Michael Jackson.
really?
He wanted to watch all of Michael Jackson's videos.
Uh-huh.
And there was it's kind of big, it's called History that Michael Jackson put out.
Yes, yes,
When
yes.
he had all of Michael Jackson's videos, he would watch it back to back. And there was a
Wow.
little book in it. Back in the day when the CDs would come out, you had all the lyrics
Yes.
in the inside the
In the
booklet
booklet. Yeah.
and pictures. So he
Right.
would go through it and just flip pages, just
Wow.
flip through the pages. And he also started dressing up like Michael Jackson with the
Mm.
penny loafers. He had penny loafer shoes, and he'll put on
He
his
had it
white
all.
socks
Uh-huh.
and pull his pants up really high,
Right.
and put white socks on his hands as gloves, and spin around the house.
Creative,
Yes,
creative.
and just walk around and doing that famous dance move that Michael Jackson would
Right.
do. And I said, this boy really loves music.
Right.
But around the age of 9, 10,
Hmm.
he started creating these videos and placing them on YouTube.
Mm.
And that's when I realized, hey, he's really
So
gifted.
that's when it hit you that okay, this
I
this is
noticed that
not
at that
just a.
age, but around 12,
Mhm.
that's when I took him to the recording studio
Okay.
just to see what he actually had
Right.
as a gift. Because he was writing, in the first grade, he would write
Hmm.
his own lyrics. He
Hmm.
kept them in a little composition notebook,
Mm.
and he would recite the lyrics around the house.
Hmm.
But when we took him to the studio in 2000, I guess that was 2011,
Hmm.
he did pretty good.
He knew that he had a gift.
And in a series of, I'd say, 3 months, he recorded about 30 songs.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow. That is huge.
yes,
That is huge. Well, we've had a delightful conversation with Bernie Lawrence-Watkins, who is an attorney, and she has shared with us, an entertainment attorney, and has shared with us some really valuable information in regard to
it's
the
been a pleasure.
music business and the entertainment business and
Right.
what some of the things that individuals need to know. So, real quickly, just before we sign off, can you share your contact information if anyone wishes
Yes,
to?
yes. My office is located downtown. The name of my firm is B. Period Lawrence Watkins and Associates.
Mhm.
The address is 325 Edgewood Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30312. My website is www.b as in boy, L as in ladder, W as in water, A as in apple, P as in Paul, C as in cat.com. I'm also on Instagram at my attorney Bernie. So that's MyAttyBernie. And I'm also on Twitter, and that's the same Twitter handle. That's MyAttyBernie.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Survival Radio Network, and we are showing love at Bludso's today. Hashtag SRN Live, and we've been speaking with Bernie Lawrence Watkins today.
Thanks
Thank you so
again.
much. Thank you.